The boys are back in town, and fewer of them are boys than last time. We've been around. Yeah, we did the Hall of Field Mysteries, the Scribner's Door commentaries where we ended up for another quest, so I talked around in there. Been to most of the houses and the places. Yeah. At this point, we could probably just go ahead and commit to finishing off Brackenbury from where we left off. In particular, I'm curious about the creepy spider lady, Morgan Webb, or whatever.
Case it was an accident, and I still wake up some nights feeling bad for him.
Oh no, the dialogue played off fucking screen again. That sucks. No. No. What's impressive is cleaving a man's spine without lopping the head clean off. That takes aim. Did that once. My case, it was an accident, and I still wake up some nights feeling bad for him. Aw. I like the dialogue. It makes me sad when it plays off camera. But I'm trying to navigate across entire maps in some of these cases. Oh well. At least he didn't try to pet anything this time. Alright. So I'm not sure the Raymonds even want to talk to me. And the Dominals don't, breathe these days. This may not be the longest visit to this particular zone. By the way, have we made progress here? Does it notify me when it's ready, or do I have to check? Sever binding. Nope. Oh, cause the... No, this is gonna take a while. Okay. Cause the prone affliction 10 times. 15% chance to cast prone on hit or crit. Yeah. It's gonna take a little while, apparently. We're only halfway there. I could do one little double check, but I don't think this guy wants to talk to me.
Welcome.
Yeah, he doesn't give a shit. Maybe he'll come up later. Only time will tell. Oh, we've got a bar down here. The Charred Barrel. The wrist one. Heartless bitch. That sounds like somebody who has a quest. The young elf is dressed in gaudy robes that he seems ready to cast off. He picks at a heavily brocaded sleeve and continually adjusts the gold chain around his neck. He looks up at you. Did she send you to run me out of town? You can tell her I'm not going anywhere without the medallion. I told Sara I wouldn't let her sell it. If that's what you're here about, then save yourself the trouble. He puffs up his chest but glances at the exit. So he's trying to put up a front. What are you talking about? He relaxes. If you have to ask me, then you're obviously not here to shake me down. Sara's a courtesan over at the Salty Mast and Ondra's gift. We've been working together for over a year now. I find a noble with more money than sense, fill them up with liquor, and send him her way. They have a good time, and Sara takes her fee and a little extra. He rubs his fingers together. 100 coppers here, a trinket there. It's a bounty for us. And these lords and ladies never notice anything missing. Wow, you just came out and said you're a whole hustle with no real... I didn't even have to push you. Go on. Anyway, we always split the bounty till a week ago. He squeezes his lips into a tight frown. She takes a necklace off some noble. It's an ingot and medallion, damn near priceless. That relic is sacred to my clan, but she won't part with it for any sum I can afford. He tugs the gold chain around his neck. And even if I wanted to, I can't go home without it. Sagani's brow furrows in pity. That's a hard thing. Tell me about your situation. He picks at the hem of his sleeve. What do you want to know? What makes this medallion so important to you? I grew up in Iarglanfath with the Shattering Spear clan. We Glenfathans have protected Ingwithan ruins for thousands of years. It's the one duty the gods ask of us in exchange for the freedom to live as we please. He fidgets with an emerald ring on his pinky. But treasure hunters looted the ruins in our territory, and we left the wilds we dwelled in for generations. Most of my clanmates scattered to towns around Deerwood and probably live on crusts of bread. He looks at his embroidered robes with disgust. Restoring this medallion to the ruins would earn us the gods' forgiveness. The Shattering Spear could go home. Tell me about Serio. She's a courtesan at the Salty Mast, over in Ondra's gift. She wasn't born to much, but she's done what she has to in order to escape that. He gazes at a string of amber beads around his wrist. A lot of those. You seem like you've done well enough for yourself. He clenches his heavily adorned hands. It was this or scrape by in the gutters like the rest of my clan. But I'd give it all for that medallion. I offered to, but it's worth more than anything I've got, and Serio knows it. I still don't understand why you can't take your money and return to Iarglanfath. He sighs, arching his neatly plucked eyebrows. Of course I could, but that's not the point. A community isn't a place. It's a connection to history and meaning. He makes circles with his wrist, like an anchor. Defending the ruins for the gods gave us purpose. Without that, we're adrift. Does that make any sense to you? We are duty-bound to the wardens to be the wardens of the builders. We do not put relics and riches on a scale and weigh one versus the other. Abandoning the search for the medallion is abandoning his way of life. Yes, I'm not sure yet. No. What? Oh, right. Right. My responses never have anything to do with whatever my party member said. This is them saying something as an aside, but I'm still talking to the above person, and so I'm responding to them, because this is an optional dialogue that only shows up if the right person's here, and so the conversation has to basically ignore that it even happened. Usually. Yes. He smiles and nods slowly. Then you know what it's like. How to care for something you can't explain. That's all I wanted to ask. I'll see about getting the medallion from Serio. You'll find her at the Salty Mast. The only way anyone sees her these days is paying. So you'll have to go through Maya. He fidgets with his sleeve. But whatever you do, please don't hurt her. Far from home. Let's take a look. I have my goal, and so we immediately stop exploring. It's a different flow.
Sure.
Oh, Eder leveled up. If it keeps pacing out like this, one micro adjustment of experience at a time, then I might not have to marathon them all. Athletics. Boop. Vigorous defense. Once per encounter, +2 all defenses. Not the worst. It makes sense for him to have it to use. Whoa. These are all new, aren't they? Oh, these are fighter abilities, not talents, right. Minus 20% armor speed penalty is nice. Unbending. Half of damage taken becomes healing over time. I don't remember that one. Was that there before? This is pretty good too. A percentage of grazes that become hits and just bonus minimum damage. You just become a better fighter. And it's passive, and passives are good. I like passives. Once per encounter, gain some accuracy. Guardian stance devotes all over. Yeah, other people get more deflection. He loses accuracy. Clear out. Big sweeping attack, knocking enemies prone and causing crush damage twice per rest. Ooh, a rarer use. It's good. Having an AoE prone is pretty neat. Disengagement attacks have increased accuracy, damage, and will knock enemies prone. Ooh. That's interesting. So on top of holding a bunch of targets, if people try to run away and break his engagement, then they get knocked on their ass for 5 seconds. Which really defeats their attempt to escape in the first place. Immune to frightened and terrified. I really wanted to get whichever one, confident aim. That's nice. But this is really good. If somebody tries to break away from him, they get knocked on their ass. That's a pretty good one for his primary job. That's what I would think, at least. Since this is the seedy part of town where more illicit things are always going down, I feel like I'm going to end up fully exploring it incidentally from just doing the tasks that everybody sends me on to here from every other part of town. Far from home, the salty Mast. We knew it'd probably come up sooner or later. The hearings on Onomancy proceeded at the Ducal Palace. Little progress is reported. We trust our Duke will come to measured, wise conclusion. Oh, there's a confrontation. Grab his purse and go. Did they just kill that guy? He looks bloody, but he also looks like he's sitting up. Wait, where'd he go? Oh, fog of war. This man's fancy clothes are ripped, and blood flows from a fresh cut above an eye. He tries to push himself up, but his arm is shaking. He winces painfully. What happened? He carefully dabs at his bloody nose with a silk handkerchief. I was just on my way to the club. He slowly stretches out one leg, grimacing at his scraped knee. It's a rough part of town, but the rabble's never been violent. Even a night with Ikali isn't worth this. He limps away. Oh. Huh. I mean, I don't see them around. They could have run off anywhere, especially with the fog of war and everything. Not sure. Not sure if there's more. I'm not sure if there's more to that, or if it's just a one-off moment you get to see. Huh. Maybe I'll encounter them in one of these buildings later. The main clue is that no quest prompt came up. So it might just be a little... Wow. Stuff just kind of sucks here sometimes. I dare you to ask them how much it would cost for
Nothing
two
like
ladies.
this in Gilded Vale. Just Wallaruna the milkmaid. She knew what she was doing.
What is up?
Visit the lands, see the sights. I do love travel.
This place, it stills your mind and distracts you.
Now to find a home for my other staff.
Durance. All right. Wow. So some of the lines played and some of them didn't, but also maybe they're standing in parts of the room where the audio doesn't play right. Pro tip, game protagonists, party members. Generally speaking, we just want to hear their dialogue, so don't filter it through the environment or any of the effects that make them hard to hear, or the part where, oh, I'm slightly off camera. Don't play it at all now. Yeah, just don't handle it that way if there's any way possible to do that, because we want to hear it. And we're often just powerless to escape the ways that it's going to apparently not play back. I dare you to ask them how much it would cost for two ladies at once, and willing to copulate with a giant cat. If the answer is less than 1,000 pound, I'm in.
Need something?
Ladies, no.
Yeah.
You can't even click on it out of combat. Is sex combat? Nothing like this in the Gilded Vale. Just Wallaruna, the milkmaid. She knew what she was doing. Visit new lands, see new sights. I do love to travel. We pretty much heard everything else anyway. By the flame, your mother never gave you the talk? Hi there, boys. You know what I mean. How do I get started? Find the fellow you like and jiggle that purse of yours. Should do the trick. Did you see the ringing on that one? The rigging on that one? I wouldn't mind getting broadsided by her. But which one? Blazes, girl, if you can't make up your mind, give me your coppers and I'll have some fun for you. I'll have some fun for you. Sure. Okay. Oh, that's the one they're trying to get to go off and do things. You know, maybe I'll do this another time. That's what you said last time we came here. I'm not listening to another week of you chafing in your drawers. Shh, someone will hear you. I sincerely hope so. Oh. Big Dermsy. And of course, he's the little guy. How much for the pleasure of your company, Tella? I beg your pardon? Forgive me, I seem to have made a mistake. You certainly have, and you can make up for it with a glass of claret. I'll make that too. They're both patrons. A mistake was made. Big Dermsy. The Orland man seems to walk with a slight limp. He doesn't say anything, but he stops and regards you with interest. I feel like if I ask what's wrong with his leg, we're gonna find out why it's called Big Dermsy. He laughs and shakes his head. That's exactly why. Oh, there's a named character there. Oh, it's because they're walking back and forth. It's Orico.
Good day to you.
Orico catches your eye. A golden hoop dangles from one ear, and his fine fitted clothes whisper as he glides over to you. You have me at a loss. How could I afford time with such a magnificent creature? Enough flattery. I know how this works. Then I shall save my breath for more pleasurable endeavors. He runs a finger along a perfectly symmetrical goatee. What can Orico do for you? You tell me. Some things must be experienced to be believed. Not this time. Maya. Alright, so we're supposed to look for Serio. Hey Maya, if you want to speak to Sara. Oh, there they are. How much?
Greetings.
The Amawa woman watches you suspiciously. One hand is tensed at her side, but as you approach, she relaxes and gives you a friendly, if weary smile. I don't see many outfitted like you that aren't looking for trouble. You aren't looking for trouble, are you? What kind of trouble are you having? A frown ripples across her blue facial markings. The kind that's bad for business. Local rowdies have taken to harassing my hard-working boys and girls, and our customers. They started showing up after this rash of Hollowborn, and they've been driving my regulars away. Okay, so there's follow-up on what happened earlier. She looks you up and down, scratching her chin. There aren't too many who care about what happens in places like the Gift, but word is you're an exception. The knights are too busy sniffing around Duke Avar to bother with us commoners, and I'd just as soon not deal with their bureaucracy anyway. Tell me how I can help. Maya draws you closer. These thugs tend to roam in groups, which suggests to me that they aren't random incidents. She places one large finger on your chest. You put a stop to... Oop. I accidentally pressed the keyboard somewhere. How far back did I... Let's see. You put a stop to these attacks and I'll find a real nice way to thank you. She winks. Got me? Well, if you aren't interested in the reward, I'll solve the problem myself. I've got questions. Shoot. What do you know about these attacks? She waves a hand at the door. You only have to step outside to see it yourself. Those thugs out there are just waiting to cause trouble for anyone coming or going. She sizes you up. Maybe they would have let you pass, however. Tell me more about your business. She rubs the back of her neck. It's not doing as well as I'd like with all this trouble. I run an honest enterprise, just trying to give folks a little rest and relaxation. She nods at you and lowers her voice. You help me out, and I'll see about getting you a special discount. This might be my way to get to meet the other character for free, potentially. Is there someone here named Sara? She laughs. You must be new in town, dearie. She's only the most sought-after girl in the district. You want to spend time with her, just ask. She's 1,000 for the night, but she's worth every pand. Or so they tell me. Fancy a go with her? She nudges you in the ribs. Best money you can spend in the Gift. Maybe another time. That's what everyone says at first. Tell me about this place. I thought that was clear as crystal waters below the docks. She laughs. This here is the Salty Mast, the most famous house of pleasure in Defiance Bay. We've got drinks, beds, and good company to help you enjoy both. So many minds here, filled with lust, gaiety, but also with worry, heartache, terror. She looks around at the talking, laughing, drinking crowds. These rooms have been filled by despair at the Hollowborn as much as by anything else. Her gaze returns to Maya. A shame that one would so readily profit from it. Of course, the club for refined and prestigious gentlemen is upstairs. You'll find several of the hardest working boys and girls in Defiance Bay up there too. Goodbye. Alright. Now we have a secondary thing going on here that we can look into. We'll go ahead and move on to that then. And much like the tavern, the Salty Mast will also be potentially more extensively explored later. Because who knows what other characters are standing around there.
Right.
Alright, well you weren't there a moment ago. You look like you want to have a good time, honey. And I'm all open for business. Do I actually have any context for this yet, though? She suspects that someone's organizing them. Alright. I should actually go back inside. I should talk to the workers there and see if anyone actually has anything to say about that. Wade's eyes are red-rimmed and unfocused. He stares into a filthy mug as if searching for something. He shivers and takes another drink. Why don't you just take one of them stools over there? He swats at the air in your general direction. Nowhere else for me to go. Not with the wife and the state and my boy. His face freezes with a stricken expression, and he turns back to the bar, muttering into his drink. His son was hollowborn. Is my takeaway. Lines, another round, fast. Lines, 2 lips. Yep, that's her distinguishing characteristic, is she's got 2 lips,
traveler.
which is super unusual. And no one normally has 2 lips. That's crazy. She leans on the bar, her black painted nails tapping the wood. What'll it be? What can you tell me about this place? She arches an eyebrow. Every foreign sailor and visiting villager knows about the Salty Mast. It's the most famous brothel in Defiance Bay. She points to an Amawa woman. You want to know more? Just ask Maya. Alright. Let's see if there's anything of interest. Not really. Camping supplies. Strange place to buy camping supplies. Patrons. Oop, you're someone.
How do you do?
Not from around here, are we? The young woman's voice rolls with the saucy cadence of Ondra's gift. You need a local girl to show you the highlights? Lucky for you, I'm one of them. You're a local girl or a highlight? She laughs. Both gorgeous. What else can you do with that clever tongue of yours? And what local attractions would you recommend? Gifo winks. I'd rather show than tell. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna get any context for what I'm looking into. Older drunkard. Oh, it's one of the Hellborn type dudes. What is up with this? That's quite a face. Does he have a face in there? Is he just a vertical seam? Is he wearing a helmet? Huh. What did he say a second ago? Can't kick me out like that. Been around longer than any of them.
Gods keep you.
His robes are torn and stained with vomit. He turns his eyeless face towards you, wiping his mouth. Come for a story? His speech is slurred and his voice ragged. I told all the best stories. He slaps his chest. It's my club anyway. What club? The club for refined and prestigious gentlemen. He prods your shoulder. Wait. If you don't know about the club, you must be... He heaves, catching at his chest. After several precarious seconds, he recovers. Where was I? Ah, you must be here about the ring. The ring. He shoves it into your hand. Have to have that to get into the lounge. He hiccups. They don't let just anyone in, you know. He wipes a hand on his shredded robe. It's the most exclusive club in Defiance Bay. He slaps you on the back. Whatever you do, don't tell him you're new, or... He turns away, overcome by a fit of dry heaving. If he's drinking that much, how is he dry heaving? Maybe I don't understand how it works. What is his head made of? I'm confused. I've never wanted a portrait more to be able to see what they look like up close. Because I'm like, is his face just a vertical crack? He doesn't have eyes. But he can drink. It's like he has a mouth.
Yeah.
Huh. Such beautiful women. I have my eye on that icy one in the corner. This woman here? I'm afraid she only has eyes for the elf by the bar, Bon Amico. Plastinago, not her, the Velika Glamfallen up the stair. I have no taste for frigid women, I'm afraid. That's because you have no taste. Okay.
Sure.
And then the bar. Patrons and the courtesans work up a fierce appetite, if you know what I mean. Keep me busy. And of course that door's locked. Okay.
You must gather your party before venturing forth.
I'm not expecting a lot of help from here at this point. Knowing how things have gone so far, my go-to approach would be to check out some of those abandoned houses, because those seem to be hot spots for organized criminal activity several times over at this point. We'll just head on up there. Or maybe we'll just get attacked, but probably not. She made a point to indicate that, like, we probably won't get attacked because we are clearly a band of adventurers, and that we're all decked out and militarized and shit. Like, we're not a good target. That's why people keep fighting the moment we walk into buildings, probably. Oh, we're fucked. Probably not these guys. These are the addicts. The man rubs his brown, encrusted gums impulsively. They got something to share and beat it. If you're looking, we're not selling. I'd ask Pernus in Copperline. He's our guy. Well, so giving with their sources. Heart of gold, these addicts. In their trash pile building.
Huh?
Seriously though, why was the drunk guy like a Daedra? Ah! Another level up. I get the feeling I found the right place. Click. A youngish elven man squints at you in surprise. You can't just barge into someone's home like this. Who do you think you are? Who are you? The elf who lives here, now get out. What now? He looks at you nervously. Nervously? Nervously, you say? Stealing your food now, haha.
Yeah.
Oops. Accidentally pressed the Windows button instead of Alt.
Look.
Find the secret. The knob on the underside suggests the table was fashioned from a derelict door. The slightest pressure causes it to wobble atop the barrels. Huh. Well, I think he's gonna come up at some point. Whatever that is. There's a few instances of that where we walk into a place and it's like, oh, that's probably some kind of story location or attached to some other quest. And for now, there's just a guy standing there. Because if they weren't important enough to be in a quest, there's a decent chance they wouldn't have, dialogue where it's a full pop-up and everything. If they just want to do flavor text to somebody be like, get out of my house! Then they would just say that above their head. And you'd be like, ha, that's funny, I'm in their house. RPGs are funny. RPGs are funny, aren't they? Self-awareness, am I right? Yeah, this is where the torture was. I didn't think they'd reuse the same house, so it's probably the ramshackle house. There are basically no other locations in this entire map, at least located on the map. Because a quirk of this game is that whenever you're in a town, all of the points of note are just pre-labeled. They could be in the lighthouse, I guess. And there's a trading company. I wouldn't expect them to be at the trading company. Necessarily. Yeah, maybe they're hanging out in the ramshackle house, the last of the abandoned places, or maybe they're in the lighthouse. Kind of a weird derelict abandoned place that might be interesting like that, but I would kind of expect the lighthouse to be in use, and therefore not a great option for that. Ooh, this one has to be lockpicked.
Nice.
Isn't that that's interesting. That tends to mean things.
What you ask is done.
What do you guys have in here? Harassing thug. Well, that really helps narrow down who's who. It's 4 harassing thugs and Afri. Hey, Eder, can you go have a chat with him?
How do you do?
Aethra wears a defiant expression and a sturdy, yet battered suit of armor. She seems to bear each scratch and ding with pride. You don't look like one of the knights. Can I help you with something? Who are you? I'm Aethra, a lieutenant with the dozens. She taps her dented breastplate. We're the last fighting force in Defiance Bay that remembers what it means to be Dear Wooden. And unfortunately, I am the only one who seems to care about the way Maya's squeezing the locals. Never mind. What? But the thugs are here. We live here. We just want to be treated fair like.
All right then.
Huh.
Hello.
Yeah, I also suspect that somebody is organizing them. This person that basically admitted to organizing them, or is clearly surrounded by the harassing thugs, and has a bone to pick with the salty Mast. There's no additional dialogue. It just stops after almost nothing was said. Weird. Usually something happens, like when it escalates into a fight, or really anything else.
God's damn that son of a cool.
Hello, portrait. How are you doing, Palagina? This was a strange, abrupt surprise encounter with you when I was about to click on the level up the Druid button. The angry woman clenches her jaw and stares out toward the harbor with glimmering golden eyes. Eventually, sensing your presence, she turns her feathered head toward you.
Want to run it down on its luck, Valiant Trading Company? If you have more than half a brain, you could really do something with it.
She clenches her jaw and continues quietly.
As long as you're willing to clean up a few bloodstains.
What's going on exactly?
Exactly? If I knew that, I'd be in a better mood. The only thing I know exactly is that Mestre Versano is determined to wind up in a grave before the season turns.
The woman looks back at the warehouse for a moment and grimaces. After a slight nod in your direction, she storms off. Okay. Well, say hello, future party member, since that's been the only people that ever have portraits in this game. Anyway. Oh, that's the whole level up. Alright, well, cool. Did you just unlock all of these spells? Did he just get a new tier of spells?
Yeah?
Oh god. Alright. Let's try to look at them. Boiling Spray. It's a cone of burn damage. Everyone in the cone area takes... Every effect takes burn damage and is pushed back. I really wish right-clicking would close the window that you already opened, because then I could go through them all in a row. Let's do the quick way. Culling the World's Maw. Summons a jagged rock to stab upward from the ground, dealing pierce damage to targets and knocking them prone. Conjure Blight. Gathers a moderate amount of stray soul fragments, coalescing them into flame, wind, rain, and earth blight. What does that mean? Oh, it's a summon. It's the summon blight spell that we've seen. Hailstorm. Calls down a savage storm of sleet and ice chunks, causing crush and freeze damage to anyone in the area of effect. Moonwell. Channels lunar energy into a localized source of power, regenerating the endurance of allies in the area of effect and granting a minor bonus to all defenses. Yep. That's a lot of healing. That's almost the entire health bar, or in some cases more than the entire health bar of the characters in the party, in a pretty big circle while also being a defense boost. That's a pretty big AoE. That's more powerful than what Durance has for heals, although Durance can do it every fight. Overwhelming wave. Conjures a rolling wave of water that plows through everything in its path, causing crush damage and the stun affliction. Form of the Delum gun. Allies gain a protective layer of wooden skin and are imbued with characteristics of Delum gun, becoming faster, less vulnerable to disengagement attacks, and immune to the stuck affliction. Wicked briars. Sprouts thick, thorny veins from the ground, causing pierce damage to and hobbling any in the area of effect. Question is always which one of these are faux AoE and which one of them just affect everybody in general. How strong is Durance's heal at this point? Oh, that's not the right one. Not amazing. It only heals 22 endurance. So possibly the more useful part is the accuracy boost, really. But it's good against vessels. As a situational thing, it has a specific thing that is weak against it. I'm thinking that maybe we've identified... Oh, or we're about to be attacked. You're making quite a name for yourself with the Dominos. Pity that it isn't the kind of impression you should be making. Oh yeah? Tell me more. I've got bad news for you. You're all gonna die. And that guy and your friend just stabbed you. Alright, well. She just fucking shot him in the middle of the fight when he hadn't even changed teams yet. She's like, I know where this is going.
Yeah.
Right, we were still in fast mode during that fight. Harassing thug. Oh, there they are. What have we here? Another tourist of the gift. He nods to his shifty-eyed companions. Let's give him a proper welcome. Let's talk this through. He draws a sharpened blade and smiles. I'm afraid you're missing the point, friend. Oh yeah? Oh yeah? Oh yeah? Is that what's happening? Am I missing the point? I have a shotgun. Would you like my shotgun? I feel like this isn't going so well for you, sir. All right. But you're missing the point, friend. Ooh, a key. An old key looks like it's been rusted from years of exposure to the salty air. Well, I bet I can now go to the place with the people that I just was. Maybe that's why I couldn't... Huh. Yep. Now I'm supposed to go there. Oops. I didn't click on everybody. You must gather your party before venturing forth. Alright, so I guess I had to be attacked once. So you could lockpick the door, but then you just straight up can't talk to them about the thug situation. And the dialogue just weirdly stops. Huh. Like I had to see further evidence of them being around before it really counted. Ah crap, everyone's ready to level now. She folds her arms over her dented breastplate. Yes? I'm here about the trouble at the salty Mast. Why did I need to be attacked once for this to be here? Ordinary Kith are angry, as they should be with that crooked Amawa toadying up to the nobles. She sneers. She's using the tragedy of the Wadwin's legacy to line her pockets. She's no better than the Diran overlords who we drove out 200 years ago. Is that the case, though? People around here know you to be an honest broker. Maya's made it only so only the rich can afford her establishment. Yet she sits in the poorest district in Defiance Bay. How's that fair? You don't like her prices, so you're attacking people in the street? I don't this is some poorly justified stuff. We've taken matters into our own hands, but she's the real criminal here. Why don't you tell her to back down? Maya might be making a fortune, but her employees aren't. You're hurting them even more. I hadn't thought of it that way. Her dulled pauldrons sag. Then I guess there's no point to this, is there? He looks at the thugs standing around her and finally nods. Tell Maya I'll leave her people alone. And then everyone else leveled up. Ah! Ah! Well, isn't it nice to have the stats that make you just resolve things with words? And also at some point we'll see that god person character again. I don't remember what they're called. Godborn or something? They should be exceedingly rare. It makes sense that your protagonist can be all like, OC, do not steal. I'm a godborn with heterochromia and stuff like that. Because you're the protagonist. But unfortunately, the yellow named heroes everywhere, so many of them are godborn, and it's really distracting because other than that, there's like none. It's pretty much just exclusively those people. So it should be a really rare surprise to see like a crazy inhuman character that has like an elemental head roaming around. All right, so we're level 7 now, aren't we? Yeah, we are. That's neato. You're probably easy to level up. You're a ranger. Can't afford the next stealth point. Ranger abilities. There are a lot of options. Heal companion. 46 endurance, 2 per encounter. That's a decent amount of ability to heal, I suppose. Vicious aim. This is the more damage and accuracy, less speed. Which is already kind of what I already have. Arrow sense. That's defense against attacks coming her way from range. Takedown. 2 per encounter. So that gives the companion the ability to knock people prone, which is actually, that would be handy. Crowd control's always good. What? Each ranged attack loosed by the ranger contains such force as to fly straight through the first target and hit another target behind it for less damage. Your attacks bounce? What the fuck? Listen, I've talked about how I like chain lightning and stuff, so like this is fun. I'm just not expecting that kind of shit. Marked prey. Defensive bond. And swift aim. Yeah, I gotta get it. I gotta get freaking, I mean, takedown's tempting too, but your range attacks bounce one time? That gives her a bit of usefulness. Bit of bonus damage as she hits multiple targets. Huh. Fun.
Good day to you.
I talked with the ringleader. She's agreed to leave you alone. May's brow ridges rise. Well, that's a welcome surprise. And one worth celebrating. Take some coppers and enjoy yourself. Her smile widens. And if you choose to have fun here, enjoy my special discount. A discount? Well, in that case, I can't afford not to sample the house specials. Haravis's hands dart about his tunic for loose copper. You're welcome to watch. Anyone? Anyone? You're all welcome to watch. He shrugs and continues to search his clothes for coins. Your loss. I mean, there's probably somebody somewhere that wants to watch the furry threesome happen that he's been very excited to have. Gonna be expensive though if he goes with the well, we only know one price, which is 1,000, but she's the top. She's still 1,000 for the night? But, oh yeah. Fancy go with her? I'll give you a special rate of 500 to thank you for your help with my little problem. So I can... Okay, maybe another time. We'll take a look, but I may not have to pay, because I might be able to just find her and talk to her. Lost 111 to bandits, but I earned 562. Ah, I just made back the amount of money that it would cost for me to do this in the first place. And obviously I can afford it. I have 23 grand, but, you know, not in a hurry to spend money when I don't need to. It would certainly be more satisfying just to find my way in, if that's an option. She's probably not there. That's probably where they keep ledgers and everything. Yeah, especially there. Yep, that other guy gave me access to the top floor, potentially. Let's see if it works. Lyrinia. Ikali.
Huh?
Astoundingly, there's no spare change between these cushions.
Good day to you.
The dwarven maid raises the hem of her skirt to show you a well-muscled leg. You've never experienced anything like this before, trust me. I'm literally a dwarf. What do you mean? Let's just say I don't tire easily. She slaps a smooth, firm thigh.
Yeah.
Hello.
The pale elf's gold eyes are the color of a winter sunset. She touches your cheek with a cool hand. You look like you've journeyed far. Let me show you comfort and rest. Tell me about yourself. I came to Defiance Bay from the frozen lands in the southern end of the world. Few of my people venture this far north, but none know how to warm a cold night like we do. Her skin seems to glow in the darkened bar.
Good day, stranger.
The elf's long hair frames high cheekbones and a long, slender nose. It's not every day at the club that the club gets such a breath of fresh air. Who are you? I'm a native of the Deerwood and an expert in the subtle arts. If it's practiced skill and finesse you seek, look no further. He wraps his tapered fingers around a wine goblet. Beck Ordo. You look like you don't work here. Oh, you work here. Unlocked. Nice ring, you may enter. We do good business at the Salty Mast. Ah. Things are always busy here. Well. I very well may have just got access to where I was trying to get to. Who's in here? Patrons that I'm sure love me walking. Oh, that's where Sara is. Wow. That's some heavy guard you got there. Two barbarians dual-wielding axes at the front door. Feels like she's held hostage in this situation. How do you even get in here? Oh, there's a door right here. Anyone in here? And also, is there like a secret passage into that room in here? Up close, these look more comfortable than one might expect. Oh, the clothes.
Ready, Watcher.
Why not? Yeah, I'm sure they find me instantly. Yeah, okay. More effective than doors is just NPCs that are like, I might be able to talk my way in, but probably not. Where have I heard the name Jason spelled exactly like that? Vincent DeWeiler. Your first time at the club for refined and prestigious gentlemen, sir? The man looks down his nose at you. So, you're a member, I see. Are you here for the exclusive club equipment? Tell me about this place. He folds his arms. Broadly speaking, you're in the club for refined and prestigious gentlemen. On the upper floor of the Salty Mast. He tilts his head. More specifically, you're in the members only lounge, which means you've been a part of the club for at least a year. He eyes you suspiciously. Our rules are strict, but they keep the riffraff out. Mostly. At the moment I clicked on it, I was realizing, like, oh, asking about this place pretty much gives away that I'm not a member. And yet, it didn't seem to have consequences. I've been collecting the finest equipment for over a decade. I guarantee you won't find a superior collection. I'm really curious what we're talking about. What? They're weapons? Oh my god, they're a lot. Wow. It's Don Paco's Codpiece of Vigor. 2 Constitution. Jesus Christ. Okay. Spectacular Speedum, the Temepara Crates Remorse, Crooked Bee Bow, Sword of Dionysus, Citra Akana, oh my god, Scoop Hundaku's Evil Black Arquebus. Evil! Evil! The Maverick. DR Bypass. It would take ages to even look through all these. Gift Blade of Lorne. It'd be cool if I found like a really cool two-handed weapon that I like more than my current one on my main character. Darkozy Paladini's Longsword of Inclani. I feel like we're just joking at this point. These almost might be like Kickstarter like items. That's might be why there's so many of them here. Habba's Hammer. A lot of them just seem to be exceptional weapons. That are named. Hanover's First Fist of Dodum. Jarpy's Warhammer. Lysandra's Blade. Pikejaw Rod. Semper's Faithful Dagger. Yeah, these look really generic. Silver Crow Axe. Yeah, unless I'm missing something, these are all just exceptional weapons. Sword of Pricks. The Vile Loner's Lance. Wait. Tree's Conqueror's Spear. Cloak of the Theocrat. Now these are more interesting because these are inventory slots with specific stats on them, so they could be really good for min-maxing your characters. Like, this is a 2 Constitution, like, belt item. That's potentially great. Kind of expensive. So low. Yeah, maybe it is a 10% increased crit damage. Maybe that's what that means. 1 resolve. 10 defense against spells. 15 max endurance. I'm most interested in the 2 Constitution there, probably. Crit could be good. Do I already have endurance? That might be one of the only ones I'm missing on this character, basically. Ah. Oh, no, that's +1 endurance per 3. Yeah. That's the heal over time ring. Which has to be basically useless. It's just not a good heal. Yeah, I have 1 Constitution on my boots. You might already have a Constitution belt on? No, DR, which is actually pretty good. Yeah, he's got a pretty good situational setup here. All of his different defenses are accounted for. Not much for Constitution, though. Do I want to lose DR to get Constitution is the issue. Could put it on Heravis, who doesn't even have that kind of stuff equipped in the first place. Buying somebody a cod piece of vigor is also hilarious. And giving it to Heravis is even funnier, given the recent dialogues. Oh. Context.
Yeah.
Delicious. Delicious context. Sounds like a good closing moment, actually, for this episode. Oh yeah, there's my ring. This ring signifies membership in the Club of Refined and Prestigious Gentlemen. Beneath its sigil a motto inscribed in Eld Adiren, Freud und Ethmedu. The names scrawled in this guest book span pages of the thick tome. Oh boy, that's a lot. This is... yeah, this is probably... could just be Fenrir, really? Fenrir is just such a low-hanging fruit to always go for. Rogue Menace. Yeah, I would guess that this is yet another Kickstarter credit. They're particularly refined and prestigious, so they get to have like lore items and a weird spot in the brothel. Congratulations, y'all.